Yeah, all right, everybody. Welcome to Wrestling Uncensored. I am Dave Simon. He is Johnny North. RingsideReport.net is the website. Go there, check out everything that we do. We've got Ringside Report MMA. You want to know what's going on in the UFC? Check us out right now, RingsideReport.net. You can go there. You can watch the UFC 250 watch-along. Watch UFC 250 on pay-per-view, 10 p.m. Eastern, Saturday night. It is a big card from the UFC. Watch the show. Watch the watch-along on our YouTube channel. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and when you do, click the bell so you get notifications every time that we're on. There's the bell. And, of course, we will be on for the UFC 250 watch-along. We're on for Dave and Johnny Live every week. We're on for Ringside Report MMA every Thursday at 8 p.m. Dave and Johnny Live every Friday at 12:45 Eastern Time. Johnny and I talked about In Your House. We talked about the greatest In Your House matches of all time, the top 10 greatest matches of In Your House, and we both independently on our top 10 list chose the Calgary Stampede match, the Canadian Stampede, Bret Hart, Owen Hart, Brian Pillman, Jim Neidhart, and, of course, the British Bulldog, the Hart Foundation, taking on Team America, led by Stone Cold Steve Austin, Goldust, Ken Shamrock, and the Legion of Doom. We said that was the best match in the history of In Your House. We will preview the next In Your House, the next iteration of this event, coming up here on Wrestling Uncensored. NXT In Your House. It's a takeover show. I'm looking forward to it. I like professional wrestling. There's some good matches on this card. But if you want to check out Dave and Johnny Live this week, go to RingsideReport.net. The video's right there on the front page. We talked about the history of WWE In Your House. Really, WWF In Your House. This is the first WWE In Your House. And it's NXT. We got a lot to get to here on the program. Not only will we preview WWE's next version of In Your House coming up Sunday night, we will also tell you about AEW Fyter Fest. We have a date for Fyter Fest. We were wondering last week, when's Fyter Fest? It's July 1st and 8th. A 2-night event on Dynamite. And Tony Khan, the owner of AEW, is promising pay-per-view quality shows for both Wednesday Dynamite shows in July. So that should be exciting. We've got a couple matches announced for that. We've got some matches announced for Dynamite coming up this week. Sammy Guevara against Colt Cabana. We'll talk about Colt's fun match with Chris Jericho on Dynamite this week. The Butcher and the Blade will take on FTR. What did you think of FTR's promo on Dynamite? The little interview segment with Tony Schiavone. We'll get to that. Backlash is next week. We'll be doing a watch-along next week, next Sunday night, for WWE Backlash Live. Watch the show with us. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to see the greatest wrestling match ever all together. We're going to be witnessing history. Edge versus Randy Orton, the greatest wrestling match ever. Ric Flair told you last week it was going to be the greatest match ever. Shawn Michaels told you this week that it was going to be the greatest match ever, and he knows about great matches. Old Heartbreak, old HB Shizzle. And, of course, some controversy in the WWE. Everything's so politically charged these days. The Forgotten Sons, Jackson Riker, not his real name, tweeted a pro-Donald Trump tweet when everything was going a little haywire there in the U.S. I guess things are still going a little bananas out there, a little crazy, right? A lot of unrest. And Jackson Riker taking a lot of heat from his co-workers. Notably Kevin Owens, who retweeted him. We can show you that in a little bit. But I want to start with NXT's In Your House. Johnny North, it's back. In Your House is back. We have 6 matches announced for this card. It's going to be main evented by Adam Cole versus Velveteen Dream in a last chance backlot brawl for the NXT Championship. If Dream loses, he can no longer challenge for the NXT title while Cole is still the champion. Adam Cole has been champion for over a year. He's the longest reigning NXT champion in history. Is this it for Adam Cole? Finn Balor takes on Damian Priest one-on-one. Charlotte Flair defending the NXT Women's title against Rhea Ripley and Io Shirai. Tommaso Ciampa going one-on-one with the artist formerly known as Killer, now Karrion Kross with Scarlett. She's still Scarlett. Keith Lee defending the NXT North American Championship against Johnny Gargano. And a 6-woman tag, Mia Yim, Shotzi Blackheart, and Tegan Nox taking on Candice LeRae, Dakota Kai, and Raquel Gonzalez. I want to start with the main event. That's what I'm interested in here. The title match. Adam Cole defending the NXT Championship against the Velveteen Dream. The Dream has never been the NXT Champion. I feel like he should be at some point. Adam Cole has held the NXT title for a long time. Over a year, like I mentioned. And I feel, in a way, he has held the NXT title and NXT as a brand. He's held it back while being the champion. I think he's a solid wrestler, but I'm not sure that he is a centerpiece to a brand like NXT right now. So, I think it's time for a change. I think it's time for the Velveteen Dream to become the champion. I've been very impressed with Velveteen Dream. And there are rumors that Adam Cole is actually going to be moving on from the WWE. There's talk that his contract is up in August, and he could be headed to AEW. Of course, his girlfriend, Britt Baker, the doctor, the dentist, Britt Baker, she's in AEW. He's good friends with the Bucks and Kenny and the whole Elite crew. Is this the beginning of the end for Adam Cole? Is this it? Is this where the Dream is finally champion? The Dream is finally realized? Velveteen Dream, NXT champion? I'd like to see it. What do you think, Big Johnny? Is it going to happen this Sunday at In Your House?
Well, last time Dream wrestled Cole, I thought Dream was going to win, and he didn't win. So it's really hard to pick him again in this match. However, this is going to be like a movie match again. And the last time they did a movie match, it was pretty good. But last time they had the heel winning. So I feel like this time around they're going to have the face win. So although Dream, it didn't work out well for him last time and he let me down, I'm still going to pick him again. I don't think this is the end for Adam Cole, though. I think Adam Cole, although people think he's going to go to AEW, I don't think they're going to let him go, though. I think they're going to give him a lot more money. They're going to give him a shot on the main roster. I think he's going to stay.
Okay. A lot more money, shot on the main roster. How do you think Adam Cole does on the main roster?
I think on SmackDown he could do pretty good. There's a lot of cruiserweight kind of guys that he could mesh very well with, I think.
And you talk about that, you say cruiserweight guys, because what? He's undersized, right? They talk about Shorty G being small on SmackDown, right? Chad Gable's got to be bigger than Adam Cole.
Probably, yeah. But that's just telling you, wow, Adam Cole must be really small then.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He's not a huge guy. And I think on the main roster, against some of these bigger guys, you put Adam Cole in there against Sheamus. Adam Cole in there against Daniel Bryan looked all right. Bryan's a little thicker than him. But they did that match on SmackDown a few months ago, and it was a good, solid match. Adam Cole is a good wrestler. I just feel like his run as champion has been mediocre. I feel like a lot of times when Adam Cole has been the main event of an NXT TakeOver, there have been other matches on the card that have overshadowed whatever match he did. I feel like Adam Cole has been overshadowed a lot of times while he's been NXT champion. And I look at the great NXT champions of the past, like Shinsuke Nakamura, like Finn Balor, like Sami Zayn. Those guys were not overshadowed as champion. When those guys were champion, they were the main event. They were the main attraction. They were what you came to see, and they were the ones that stole the show. I feel like Adam Cole is very good, but he's not stealing the show every time. Like Adam Cole, Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, interchangeable, the way I see it. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I kind of get your viewpoint. Like, yeah, like Cole, not all the time he's not had the best match, but sometimes he's had a really good match. I remember the match at Survivor Series he had with Pete Dunne. That was one of the best matches we saw, and I had the main roster on it. He's had moments where it's been really good. I thought him and Gargano, some of those matches were good. Some of them, it was way too repetitive, way too many super kicks, but that's the style he wrestles. That's the style you have to understand. That's how Adam Cole does his thing. Sometimes it's cool. Sometimes it's just, well, it's too much. But I think they wanted to give it a run because I thought the group was super over. And I thought for the most part they done well. I mean, I think this would have ended earlier if this wasn't for the pandemic. But because of the pandemic, there wasn't an opportunity, I think, to really take the title away from him.
I just don't see it with Adam Cole as far as character, gimmick. I don't know what he is. I don't know who he is. He's supposed to be a heel, but he plays to the crowd and gets cheered. He does the whole Bebe thing, and the crowd cheers with him. Like, he invites that. But he's supposed to be the top heel champion on the brand. It doesn't work. It doesn't work for me. It works for a lot of people, and that's okay, right? But for me, I don't know. I don't really get it. I think Adam Cole's a talented performer, but this run as champion has been not that interesting to me, and it hasn't lit NXT on fire. NXT over the past year with Adam Cole as champion, has it been the super hot brand that it was in the past? Like, I'm not saying anything incorrect here, John. Everything I'm saying is true. Like, everybody says, well, Adam Cole, he's the best, 5-star match, this and that. Okay, but where's the interest level in NXT now compared to, say, a few years ago when Asuka was there, or, you know, Shinsuke Nakamura or Finn Balor as champion? Finn Balor as champion right now in NXT, I think, would make things more interesting. Velveteen Dream as champion, I think, would make things more interesting. It would change things up, at least. NXT needs a shakeup.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong. I think this is definitely the time to take it off Cole. I thought Cole had a good run. Again, it dragged a little bit, but I think it wasn't supposed to drag this long. And now finally they've come up with an opportunity to take it off him, and hopefully they do it actually this Sunday. Will they do it is a big question, because for some reason they love having these long champions, regardless if it's working or not in the ratings.
Velveteen Dream is a guy that I'm so impressed with. I'm such a big fan of. The gimmick, the character, the promos, he sells it. You know, you believe it. But you know, like, I remember watching him on Tough Enough. That's not him. That's not Patrick from Tough Enough, you know? That guy was a sweet kid. He was just like a nice guy, all smiley, just loved professional wrestling. This Velveteen Dream character is something that he has developed and made into his own and made into a serious gimmick in the WWE. And if they take it seriously and they don't turn it into a joke, he could be a world champion in WWE on the main roster. He's got size. He's young. He's charismatic. He loves professional wrestling. He's a lifer. You know he's in this for the long haul. I think Velveteen Dream is everything you want in a professional wrestler. He's got it all. He's your champion. I've been so impressed with Velveteen Dream. The lack of upwards momentum for Velveteen Dream, the slow push of Velveteen Dream, has been one of the big disappointments for me with NXT as a whole. The fact that Velveteen Dream has been on this brand and has been this good for how long? He debuted in 2017. May 24th, 2017. 3 years in NXT. How many guys spend 3 years in NXT near the main event and don't ever become champion? How many guys have had as many shots at the title as Velveteen Dream has and don't become champion? Why haven't they given the title to Velveteen? What has taken them so long? And if they don't do it here at In Your House, what's happening? Are they not seeing what I'm seeing? Like, Velveteen Dream is obvious slam dunk super talent. I'm glad they finally figured out what's going on with Matt Riddle. They never made him NXT champion. They said, forget it. Just move him up to SmackDown. He's ready. Obviously, he's ready. He's been ready. Velveteen, the fact that he hasn't been champion, I don't understand. It's just like the guy could be so much more than what you're giving him. He's 24. This guy's the future of the business, man. 24 years old. I guess, okay, maybe you want to wait. I didn't realize he was that young, but maybe because he's so young, you don't want to give it to him so soon. But, man, he's good. He's ready. This is his time. Give it to him now.
Well, the stipulation's put into place, though. If he doesn't win now, he's never going to win, right? So he really has to win this Sunday, or he's pretty much moving on, I think, to Raw or SmackDown, it seems.
Well, he can't get another title shot as long as Adam Cole is champion. Cole could lose the title to somebody, and then Velveteen could wrestle them and win.
Yeah, well, the way it's going, if Cole wins this one, Cole's going to be champion, I think, well past the summer, it seems. So it'd be best for Dream to move on, actually.
If Adam Cole doesn't have a deal right now with the WWE, we're in early June. His deal expires in 2 months. You got to take the title off of him now. If he hasn't signed a new contract, if they've offered him a deal that he has not accepted, well, right? You got to take the belt off him. Unless you're going to do some sort of screw job finish, brother. I mean, what? If his contract is running up and he hasn't signed a new one, I don't know. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that Adam Cole does go to AEW. I think it would be a better move for him. I think he'd be totally lost in the shuffle on Raw or SmackDown. Adam Cole versus Braun Strowman, you think they're ever going to give him that? Forget about it. Finn Balor could only go so far. You remember Vince McMahon's promo when he's standing in the ring talking to Finn Balor and he has like John Cena and all these guys, these huge jacked guys behind him? He's like, I don't know, pal. All this beef. Remember the beef promo? You remember, Johnny.
Of course. Of course.
And Vince McMahon was telling Finn Balor in that moment on Raw in the middle of the ring, which was so amazing. You're not big enough. Look at all these huge guys. I look at you, and I just don't buy it. And he told him right in the middle of the ring. And look where Finn Balor is now, back in NXT. Because he was lost in the shuffle on the main roster. And that's Finn Balor. Top guy in New Japan. He got to the Universal title briefly, right, for a moment. He got injured in the match and had to give up the title the next day. Never got back to the Universal title. Got totally squashed when he faced Brock Lesnar, right? Totally squashed. That's when the beef promo happened, right? In the lead up to the Brock match. That's the beef promo.
Right. It wasn't a squash, but he did win. Brock did beat him, yeah.
I mean, it was pretty short.
I feel like Finn actually had the over most of the match. Just Brock won out of nowhere.
Finn never became Universal Champion again. Now, if Finn isn't going to do it, you think Adam Cole is going to fare better on the main roster when Vince is there and sees him standing next to Sheamus or Drew McIntyre or Bobby Lashley or Braun Strowman or Bray Wyatt or Roman Reigns or any of these big dudes that they have walking around in the WWE? I don't know, man. I'd go to AEW if I were Adam Cole. Unless the WWE backs the Brinks truck up and just shows the money big time. If they're going to pay Adam Cole millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars, well, okay, but I would test the waters and see what AEW might offer, because they'll probably use him better than WWE would use him on the main roster. And at this point, he's done all he can do in NXT. Indies might not be worst. It might not be the worst move for Adam Cole. It might not. He's done well on the independent circuit before. I think he could do well again. And I can't imagine it's easy for him to be separated from his girlfriend who's in another wrestling company.
I think they survive. You know, money makes everyone survive, so
sure,
they'll be fine.
But, you know, he signed to WWE before AEW existed. You got to wonder what he's thinking. These are his buddies who started a wrestling company. When they started the company, he was locked down to a contract. His contract is running up. Some of these guys signed to WWE before AEW was even an idea. And now some of their contracts will run up and they'll say, well, do I want to stay with WWE where, you know, it could be all right, but it might not be? Or do I want to go to AEW and have some fun? And, you know, the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, they chose fun. They had the option. They were going to get the keys to the WWE. Do whatever you want. They said no. I wouldn't be surprised if Adam Cole said no. And he walked away. Guys will walk away. It's going to happen. The Revival walked away. They wanted out. They demanded their release. They're in AEW now. Adam Cole's been the NXT champion for a year. You would think he'd be happy with his spot. But he's not dumb, and he can look at what life might be like on the main roster. Could be good, but it might not be. And AEW looks like a fun place to work. If the money was the same, Johnny North, you are a professional wrestler. If the money was the same, where would you rather work right now? Raw or Dynamite?
Well, again, it's Raw or SmackDown as well, right? Because you could go to SmackDown.
Sure.
Honestly, I think SmackDown is more attractive than anything. Because you got Daniel Bryan there, you got AJ Styles there, you got Cesaro there, Gable's there as well. A lot of good matchups for Adam Cole. I think he could do very well in SmackDown.
I'm talking about you. I'm asking you. Where would you rather work?
For me, I guess to go with AEW, because to wrestle Chris Jericho, that would be the dream. But that's, again, me. For Adam Cole, I don't think that's the dream. I think for him, it's to wrestle who he thinks is the very best, and I think he probably thinks AJ and Daniel Bryan are.
I don't know. Kenny Omega's pretty good, too. Pac is not bad. There's some good wrestlers in AEW right now. Some talent. Wrestling Chris Jericho is pretty cool. Colt Cabana got to do it for the first time ever. Don't be surprised if Adam Cole walks away. And don't be surprised if Adam Cole loses the NXT title in this last chance backlot brawl. Another cinematic wrestling experience, something I don't need to see ever again, but WWE insists on giving us one every pay-per-view. I wonder if the Edge-Randy Orton match in the ring will be a cinematic wrestling experience. Like, they'll edit it, so it'll be like the wrestling scenes in the movie The Wrestler. Remember that movie?
Of course, yeah. I can easily see that.
Have a match that looks like that. Could you imagine if they did that? Are they going to do that? Did I just figure out what they're going to do? Is this their big plan? They're going to do some sort of cinematic wrestling experience, except it'll be a match in the ring that they're just going to enhance with, like, edits and camera work and nonsense? I think I just figured out what they're going to do. I think they're going to do that. They're going to do, like, a wrestling scene from the movie The Wrestler, but, like, a whole match. I think that's the plan. I don't know what else they possibly have up their sleeve. I'm quite curious to see what Edge and Randy Orton is going to be, because it's been billed as the greatest wrestling match ever, and I can't wait to see what it's going to be. Definitely tune into the watch-along next Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be watching this show with you. And you got to see our reactions live to the greatest match ever because, I mean, this will be an experience. No matter what it is, good or bad, it's going to be something. I'm quite excited for it. Anything billed as the greatest match ever before it even happens. I mean, I've never heard of this before. It's unprecedented, so always looking forward to something new in wrestling. Finn Balor taking on Damian Priest here at NXT in your house. It's a fun match.
Well, Priest is the one who attacked Finn Balor, who took him out a couple weeks ago. So this is the revenge match for Finn. And Priest cost Finn a match recently on NXT. So I think this is just for Finn finally to get his win back.
Yeah, I think Finn probably goes over here. I'm waiting for Finn versus Walter. Don't know when that's going to happen. Got to wait for Walter to be able to get out of Europe. But that match should be awesome when it does go down. I think Finn and Damian Priest are going to have a really good match. I like Damian Priest. He's a talented guy. Charlotte Flair, the Queen, defending the NXT Women's Championship against Rhea Ripley and the Genius of the Sky, Io Shirai. No way Charlotte loses here. No way.
No, I don't think she's going to lose. It seems like it's way too soon. I mean, this is like her first big title defense on a kind of a pay-per-view sort of thing. So I don't think she loses right here. But I don't think it ends with her and Ripley. I think her and Ripley, they're going to have another match down the road.
Did Charlotte win or lose on Raw this week?
She won. By countout.
Did she? I thought Asuka won by disqualification when Nia Jax showed up. No one explained to me who won that match. So Asuka and Charlotte are wrestling. Did they?
Yeah, they said it was a countout.
I didn't see the ref counting.
That's why the commentator said it.
That was shaky at best. So Asuka and Charlotte are wrestling. Asuka's outside the ring. Nia Jax shows up. And the referee at some point rings the bell. And then Nia Jax clotheslines Asuka. I thought the referee called for the bell prematurely for a disqualification when there shouldn't have been one because Nia didn't actually attack Asuka until after the bell. But I also thought, well, maybe she lost by countout. That's why the referee called for the bell. It wasn't clear. So Charlotte beat Asuka by countout? So Charlotte is now 3-0 against Asuka?
Correct. Yep, that's what happened. She can't beat her, no matter what.
No matter what. So are we to understand that Asuka was counted out because she was distracted by Nia Jax making her entrance? That's why she was counted out?
This is what sucks with a lot of their matches. They can't have a lot of people lose ever cleanly, it seems. We always have to have a lot of these screwy finishes or DQ, countout, whatever things. So that's what we got. Unfortunately, this is the big match they hyped, and we get a screwy finish like that. So that's what kind of sucked. But they don't like having people just lose straight up, unfortunately, in WWE. They have to have a reason. So that's the reason.
It was weird. It was weird. It wasn't clear who won the match. I didn't like that at all. And Asuka still not able to beat Charlotte is kind of weird. Charlotte will win. She'll beat Rhea Ripley and Io Shirai. I think Io Shirai will probably take the fall in this match because Rhea took it at WrestleMania. Unless Rhea takes it again here and she just can't beat Charlotte, just gets beat every time by the Queen. I can see that too. I think this match is going to be very good, though. I look forward to it. All three of them. I'm a big fan of all three wrestlers. I think they're great. This will be fun. But Charlotte for sure retains, right?
Well, I think so. I mean, now Rhea has her visa issues worked out, so that's good. But I still think it was always the plan to put it on Charlotte regardless, because I think this is to help put over Rhea even more so, because I think to put her over in the rematch, the one-on-one rematch they'll eventually have, I think that'll help Rhea even more going forward.
I agree 100%. I think that match is going to happen. They got to do that one-on-one sometime, but Charlotte right now is the NXT champion. She just won it at WrestleMania. This is the next... Is this the next pay-per-view since after WrestleMania? No, we had what? Money in the Bank?
That's right.
Yeah. Money in the Bank, and now this here, Backlash. No, sorry. In your house. Next week is Backlash. So many of these events here by WWE. Okay. Tommaso Ciampa and Karrion Kross in a singles match. This is Kross's first big match here. First match out of TakeOver. Used to be Killer Kross. I think he beats Ciampa. I think this match will be good too. I like this card, man. Every match has a possibility to steal the show, right? Every single match could be match of the night, and I'm not sure which one will be.
Well, I hope this will be a good match. Again, we haven't seen much from Kross. He just does a bunch of squash matches, but Ciampa usually has match of the night, so it's hard to have a bad match with Ciampa. And we don't know what's really going to happen with that movie match. I mean, I thought Ciampa and Gargano was a good movie match, but who knows if this match will be a good movie match, because the last movie match we saw in WWE wasn't that great. So hard to say what's going to happen here. It's hit or miss.
Ciampa and Kross is going to be a movie match too?
No, like Ciampa and Gargano, they did that on the NXT TakeOver they did on NXT.
Right.
Their match they did, that was a movie match. So, again, for this, who knows if it will be good or not, but Ciampa just seems to always have the best matches. So it's hard to go against him in terms of like if the match would be good or not.
But I think Kross wins, right?
Well, yeah, because he just came in, like he only did like squash matches. Like if he loses here, it's really crummy way to start.
Johnny Gargano, new gimmick. He's a heel. He's mean. He's got his wife there with him. She's changed her hair. She's mean. Challenging Keith Lee for the NXT North American title. We're going to see a title change here. This is another match that should be awesome. Keith Lee, Johnny Gargano. Very talented guys.
Well, this week Gargano, he has a bit of the edge because he like put his keys in like Lee's eye. So I guess Lee might be a bit blinded going into this, or might have like problems seeing. So Gargano could win, but they also won this past week on NXT. So I don't know. It seems like it's too soon. It seems like something where they might just keep this going for a while, maybe do another takeover with this. But I think in the end, I'm guessing Keith Lee's probably going to retain somehow, some way.
Yeah, I agree with you. I feel like Keith Lee hasn't had a very long title reign. I'd be surprised to see him lose here, but at the same time, Johnny Gargano with this new gimmick, they could go for it. Mia Yim, Shotzi Blackheart, and Tia Nox taking on Candice LeRae, Dakota Kai, and Raquel Gonzalez in a 6-women tag team match. I don't know. I don't care about this at all. Whatever.
I just go with the faces. That's pretty much it. It's just a random, like, tag match they put together because they did a nice brawl, and that's fine. They all have little issues with each other. That's cool, but it's just pretty much a random match to put together. It should be fun to watch, but I don't think it's really much just because they just added something they needed to add to the card, I guess.
Yep, and that is NXT in your house going down Sunday night, 7 Eastern on the WWE Network from Full Sail University in Florida. When we come back, we're going to talk about AEW Fyter Fest. What's going on at the next AEW big event? FTR, the Revival. What does FTR stand for? What did Tony Schiavone think it stood for? And Bobby Lashley, Billy Kay, and Nia Jax. My goodness. Nia Jax just keeps hurting Kairi Sane. She cannot help herself. She did it again this week. And we'll talk about it when we come back. It is Wrestling Uncensored. Short pause for the radio side here. Stay with us. Goddamn Nia Jax, eh? We gotta bury her. What the fuck, man? Every time she's in the ring with Kairi Sane. Did you see that? You see Kairi Sane's head?
Yeah, I saw everything. Yeah, I mean, it's a shame that happens, but I criticize whoever trained Nia Jax. I thought maybe they brought her up too soon to the main roster. Maybe they should have kept her in NXT longer, because it seems like a lot of accidents seem to keep happening. So I think whatever the train was done, it wasn't good enough, obviously.
Oh shit. Awful. She's awful. And she's just so arrogant too, which makes it worse. Okay, let's tell you about our friends over at IP Vanish. IP Vanish right now through the month of June running a month-long promotion where you can get a permanent discount on the monthly plan for just $5 a month. That's 59% off for life. For life. A permanent discount. It's the first time that IP Vanish has offered a permanent discount on the monthly plan, and they don't expect to offer this again. All you have to do is go to vpn.ringsidereport.net. vpn.ringsidereport.net. You need to secure yourself on the internet. You need to stay safe. You do not want to get hacked. vpn.ringsidereport.net. Protect yourself on the internet. Are you using public Wi-Fi? Do you want your laptop to get hacked? Do you want your cell phone to get hacked? No, you don't. Get a VPN. Just $5 a month right now through the month of June. And if you sign up right now, it's a permanent discount, which means it'll always be 59% off for life. Life. VPN.ringsidereport.net. It's very simple, and it's a hell of a deal. Help yourself and support the Ringside Report Network at the same time. Tell you about our friends over at Stitcher. Now, at the Ringside Report Network, we've been making podcasts for about 15 years. Many of you have been using Stitcher to stream or download our shows, Wrestling Uncensored, Ringside Report MMA. Stitcher offering you, the Ringside Report Network, as part of their sponsorship of our work, a special offer on the premium version of the service. Now, besides all of our shows, you can listen to over 100,000 podcasts on your iPhone, Android, tablet, PC, Amazon Echo, or in your car, on demand, ad-free. You also get access to Stitcher Originals, bonus episodes, comedy albums, and more. Only $4.99 a month, $34.99 a year. You go to Stitcher.com/premium, Stitcher.com/premium. Sign up today and use a promo code RINGSIDE for a free month of Stitcher Premium. Promo code RINGSIDE for a free month. Stitcher.com/premium, promo code RINGSIDE, and get some great audio in your life. Not just Ringside Report, but all the other stuff that's on Stitcher Premium. Tremendous. Stitcher.com/premium, promo code RINGSIDE. Because of the Ringside Report Network. Get it? Just like our friends over at Manscaped. Use the promo code RINGSIDE20 for our friends over at Manscaped. It's the summertime. You're going out. You're maybe at the pool. Maybe you're going to go to a beach at some point when beaches are a thing. Beaches are a thing for some people. Now, what you need to do is you need to, you don't want to have any excess hair. You don't want to be looking all frumpy at the beach. You need to manscape. You need to take care of your balls. You need to take care of your whole ball area. Your dick and balls need to be manscaped, need to be taken care of. And that's why you need to go to manscaped.com and use your promo code RINGSIDE20 for 20% off your order plus free shipping. Johnny and I both have our Manscaped stuff. I've been using it. I've been manscaping using the Lawnmower 3.0. Tremendous product. Put it in my hand. It's like sleek design. Press a button. Boom. There's a light there so you can see all those dark places, things that are hard to see. You get the hair out where you don't want the hair in the nether regions. Manscaped.com, promo code RINGSIDE20. Hook yourself up. 20% off. Free shipping. And I'll tell you this, like they say, your balls will thank you. You see that? Your balls.
Well, it's the same thing with the back of his shirt.
That's right, Johnny North. You know about Manscaped. Johnny, tell us. Tell us about your balls. How are they feeling? Are they feeling fresh? Do they smell good? Are you have the ball toner? You've got a nice ball toner, a little spritz. Nice. Smell good. No more stink. No more ball stink for Johnny North. Those days are over. Johnny North is fresh and clean now. He's a professional wrestler. He wears those little Speedos. You think Johnny North can afford to have ball hair sticking out? Of course not. That's why he has Manscaped. Johnny North is not only a representative of Manscaped, but he's a customer as well. Johnny North loves Manscaped. I love Manscaped. Johnny North's been a customer since before they were even a sponsor of this show. They sent us all lovely gift packages so we could try out the stuff. And I've tried it out, and it is great. I manscaped yesterday. Feel like a new man. Every time I take a piss, it's like an adventure because I'm like, look at that guy. It's a new penis. Brand new penis and balls. I feel fresh and new. It's a new experience, and I love it. Okay? And you'll love it too if you go to manscaped.com, use the promo code RINGSIDE20, get 20% off and free shipping. Johnny North, you love it. You're smelling good.
Well, yeah, smelling good. We'll get to that in a little bit, but I think the cool thing is like the 2.0 and the 3.0. I find when it comes to just the blade, either or works pretty well. I mean, really the main difference between the trimmers is the light. The 2.0 doesn't have the light, and 3.0 does have the light. So if you're really going for those little areas that you can't really see that well, if you don't have really good lighting, you kind of need the 3.0. But if you can live with, in wherever you are and good lighting, then 2.0 works just as well. Either way, to me, you can't go wrong in terms of the blade anyways. The blade works very well with both.
And this is something that you need for your work, Johnny North, as a professional wrestler. Have you ever seen a better trimmer than the one offered by Manscaped? I truly believe it is the best trimmer on the market. I've got another one to shave my head. I'm familiar with hand razors, trimmers like that. And Manscaped, to me, has the best one out there. Number one by far. It's a tremendous product. It's very good.
Well, I can't remember a trimmer where I go all the way to the skin. I'd always get a little tentative, but it's I actually went right on my ball sack, and that's amazing. I can't think of any other trimmer that I've ever done it before. So, and of course, when we go talk about the toner and the deodorant, I've mentioned this before. When you have a piss boner, you usually have a smell when you wake up in the morning. So yeah, it's great to have that.
There you go, Johnny North. He's lived a lot of his life with smelly balls. But now with the Manscaped Ball Deodorant, the Manscaped Crop Reviver Ball Toner, his balls don't smell anymore. And my balls always smelled fine, but now they smell extra good because of Manscaped. All right? Extra good.
Well, you still got to take care of your penis, though, and then all that pee that you have to make sure it doesn't go flying. But that's a different story, though, of course.
Yeah, well, some people have aim, Johnny North. We're not just flopping and flying around. Look where you're peeing. Pay attention to where you're peeing, Johnny North, all right? Be a gentleman.
When you wake up in the morning, it's hard sometimes.
All right, well, I'm glad you are the one cleaning your own bathroom floors, Johnny North. Let's get back to the wrestling business, shall we?
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah? Here we go. All right, welcome back. It is Wrestling Uncensored. I am Dave Simon. He is Johnny North. RingsideReport.net is the website. Go there. Watch all the things that we do. We do a lot of things. We talk about the UFC on Ringside Report MMA. We talk about professional wrestling and all sorts of other stuff on Dave and Johnny Live. Did you watch Dave and Johnny Live this week? Did you see our In Your House Top 10? You got to check that out. Wrestling Uncensored, of course, every single week. Everything's available on podcasts, iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, Sound something, all the things that you listen to the podcast. Also YouTube, also Facebook, the video versions on Facebook Live and on YouTube, on our YouTube channel. Everything available at ringsidereport.net, downloads of the podcast, and video versions of every single show that we do. Thank you for joining us here if you're listening to us on the radio as well. We appreciate you. We love you all. And thank you for supporting the Ringside Report Network and Wrestling Uncensored. Thank you for super chatting as well while we are on YouTube. Johnny North, Nia Jax. She did it again. A few weeks ago, she tossed Kairi Sane into the turnbuckle, and it looked like she just broke her in half and totally undershot her. It was a terrible, terrible move. This time she grabs her by the hair, whips her into the ring steps, giving her no time, no space, no help in protecting herself. For real, whips her head into the ring steps. Kairi Sane's head cracked open for real. Had to have stitches, just nasty. And again, Nia Jax, sloppy in the ring, hurting somebody else. How many people does Nia Jax have to hurt before the WWE says, maybe we need to slow down on this whole Nia Jax thing? Becky Lynch, Kairi Sane. I mean, how many people? How many people?
I think, to be fair, though, it looked like Sane actually tripped, though. I mean, it didn't help that Nia was throwing her in there full force, but I found Sane tripped a little bit, so that kind of hurt her a bit in terms of trying to protect herself, because she was like, uh-oh, and then boom. Everything happened really fast there. I mean, accidents happen in wrestling. It's too bad, and it's really too bad because it seems to happen a lot with Nia Jax, so everyone's going to be like, she's in trouble, but it gets her heat, and I think that's fantastic, actually, because a lot of people don't get heat anymore in wrestling. It's all this everyone's friends crap. The fact that people actually don't like her, that's great. People legit hate her. It gets her heat, finally.
She will be wrestling Asuka next Sunday for the WWE Raw Women's title. We'll preview Backlash next week here on Wrestling Uncensored. Elsewhere on Raw this week, Seth Rollins cut another one of his promos about sacrificing Rey Mysterio for the greater good and ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. A lot of boring stuff there. And then Seth Rollins lost to Aleister Black. Clean.
Great match.
Aleister rolled him up and pinned him and won. The match was good. Surprising finish, too. Seth rarely loses. And I didn't expect him to lose here to Aleister Black. I thought that was an interesting move. Good match. Promo before was kind of but the match itself was solid. Seth Rollins' character promos, not really working for me. In the ring, he's a solid wrestler. Good match there with Aleister Black, who's another very good wrestler.
Well, I think Aleister needed that more than Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is already established. Aleister Black, they're trying to build him as one of the top guys on Raw. He needs a win over a top guy, so he finally got that. Plus, he hasn't really lost to many people on Raw, so you got to keep that aura about him that he's hard to beat.
Definitely doing something with Aleister Black. What? I'm not sure exactly. How far do you push Aleister Black when he's a babyface and there's a babyface champion on the brand? What do you do?
Oh, there's tons of babyface champions, unfortunately. They need more heel champions.
Yeah. Everybody's a babyface champion on Raw, right? Apollo Crews, U.S. champion. Drew McIntyre, WWE champion. Shawn Michaels, former champion. He talked about Edge and Randy Orton having the greatest match ever. He believes that they may have the greatest match ever. Apollo Crews and Kevin Owens have a wrestling match for the U.S. title, but Andrade and Angel Garza attacked them both, and it's turned into a tag team match, of course. And Apollo and Kevin Owens wind up beating Andrade and Garza. The Street Profits and Viking Raiders went bowling. That was terrible. Are we done with this yet? They didn't tell us what sport. What is it? What sport?
They're tied. I think they announced what the sport was. I forget what it was because I could care less about what they're going to do next, but it's going to be something terrible. And we're going to see it again this Monday, unfortunately.
All of this stuff has been so bad. I don't know who's enjoying it. I don't know why they continue with the Street Profits Viking Raiders skits. It's not funny. It's not funny. Do you watch wrestling Do you watch wrestling for comedy? Because I watch comedy for comedy, I watch people that the whole goal is to be funny. When I want to laugh, I try to find shows or people that their whole thing is that they do funny. Funny is their business, You ever hear of this guy Dave Chappelle? He's a funny guy, I saw the Jerry Seinfeld latest Netflix special. It was funnier. It wasn't the funniest thing I've ever seen. It wasn't the funniest Seinfeld bit I've ever seen, right? It wasn't the funniest Seinfeld special I've ever seen. But it was infinitely funnier than anything that the WWE has done in the past year, right? Maybe ever, right?
I believe it.
Probably ever. Because Jerry Seinfeld is a professional comedian. His whole goal in life is to make you laugh. And he does it very well. The WWE are professional wrestlers. Their whole goal should be to be really good at wrestling. But they're trying to be comedians. And they're terrible at it. I don't even think they want to be comedians. I don't think the Viking Raiders signed up to the WWE when they were the War Raiders in New Japan Pro Wrestling. This big, badass Viking mean guy, rush you, pull you over, tough, strong style tag team. I don't think when they signed to the WWE, they envisioned bowling with the Street Profits. They don't want to do comedy. They're not. If they wanted to do comedy, they'd be like Dolph Ziggler and go do stand-up comedy and try to be a comedian. They want to be professional wrestlers. That's right. That's why they went to New Japan Pro Wrestling, got really good at it, so that they could sign a deal with World Wrestling Entertainment, the company that's supposed to be the premier wrestling organization in the world. Instead, they're doing axe throwing, basketball, and bowling skits with the Street Profits. It's outrageous. It's an insult to our intelligence. It's an insult to the integrity of professional wrestling. It's an insult to the Viking Raiders and the Street Profits, four guys that want to be professional wrestlers. I mean, the Street Profits are kind of goofy. Maybe they want to be comedians. I'm not really sure. I haven't decided on that. But I'm pretty sure the Viking Raiders would rather just be badass wrestlers than whatever the hell they are right now. But that's not how you get over in the WWE, pal, especially not as a tag team. Don't be a serious tag team in the WWE. They don't do that. Look at their tag teams. Did you see what Miz and Morrison were doing on Smackdown this week? They're a tag team. They're a tag team that are going to wrestle the WWE Universal Champion Braun Strowman in a 2-on-1 match for the title at Backlash next week. And they spent all of Smackdown in a surveillance van in the parking lot where they dumped green slime on Kayla, the interviewer, because they tried to hit Strowman, but they missed because they're stupid. They put fizzy water in Braun Strowman's water so his protein shake bubbled over, and then Braun Strowman screamed like a big oaf. And then they just smashed Braun Strowman's car windshield, which was just like not even a prank, just like a jerk move. That's what these idiots spent their time doing. And then, of course, at the end of the whole thing, end of this stupid skit, Braun Strowman tips the van over because the van's locked, and Miz is like, we should drive away. And Morrison's like, oh, I don't have the key. I thought you have the key. Oh, I thought you had the key. Oh, I thought you had the key. It is so stupid, and it's supposed to be funny, but nobody's laughing. In fact, I'm getting angry. I'm not laughing. I'm mad. It's having the opposite effect. I'm a big fan of comedy. I like comedy. I think you can do comedy in wrestling. I thought Santino Marella was tremendous, and I was one of the few that thought he should have won the Rumble when it was him and Alberto. And in retrospect, you think about the men that they've become, maybe he should have, right?
Should have won the Elimination Chamber against Daniel Bryan for sure.
Well, take it easy. But Santino was very good and legitimately funny. Bobby Heenan was legitimately funny. The Street Profits are not. The Viking Raiders are not. Very few people in the WWE are legit funny. Very few people in the WWE can actually make me laugh. R-Truth makes me laugh. Okay, I'll give it to him. He's funny. He'll say some things. He'll give you a look. He's good. He's a good comedy wrestler. He's good at it. R-Truth never makes you laugh, Johnny North?
The Gronk thing might be Gronk. I mean, it didn't make me laugh. I'm just like, finally, that's over.
That didn't make me laugh, but sometimes truth can make you laugh, right? You look at the WWE.
Sometimes.
Right. Okay? Sometimes. Sometimes Kevin Owens says something that makes me laugh. Some, snarky remark. I laugh. It's funny. Right? Kofi, Big E, and Xavier Woods make me laugh because they are funny. They're funny guys. They're entertaining guys. They have charisma, and that's why their comedy act tag team has done so well, because they're actually funny. Every other comedy act tag team is not funny, but New Day's actually funny, so that's why they've been so successful. Right?
Well, they can also not be funny because, sometimes it becomes too much with their stuff. But that's WWE writing too, though.
But you know that they have the ability to be actually funny. But because certain guys have the ability to be funny, they try to make everything funny. Miz and Morrison are not funny. At least whatever the hell they were doing on SmackDown was not funny. Morrison has his moments. I'll give him that. Once in a while, maybe. Chris Jericho is funny. You know what I mean? Chris Jericho, he says some things on Dynamite. It's funny. He's a funny guy. Colt Cabana is funny. His matches are funny.
He'll be back on commentary.
Yeah. Pineapple Pete, that was hilarious. That whole thing, and that was all Chris Jericho, the genius of Jericho. He's legitimately creative and legitimately funny. I'm not saying the comedy in wrestling never, ever works. Okay? That's stupid to say. Some people say that, but they're crazy. What I'm saying is, not everything needs to be funny. And they just ruined certain people by turning them into jokes. And they think certain things are funny, and then they run them into the ground, and they give it to us every single week, like this Street Profits and Viking Raiders thing. It's been 4 or 5 weeks of this, and it's not over. It's not over. And it's making me angry because I don't want to see it.
Well, you got to wait until the pay-per-view, right? So hopefully by the pay-per-view, we'll get the wrestling match. Hopefully this finally ends and we'll never have to see this ever again. I don't know. I just find with the Street Profits, they try to keep them away from the ring because I don't know if they think they're actually good wrestlers.
Maybe not. Randy Orton, a guy who I have not been super complimentary of, cut a very good promo, a serious promo on Raw this week. That's the kind of thing I'm looking for. Randy Orton talked about how much WWE Network he'd been watching and all the great superstars, and many of them felt that Ric Flair was the greatest of all time, and Randy agrees. But Randy says that Flair said that Randy is the best ever. And Randy says Edge is right. Randy is complacent. Randy says that for 20 years, he has phoned it in and accomplished more than anyone else. Randy says that Backlash is going to prove he's better than Edge. Good promo. 20 years, I phoned it in. I am complacent. I don't care. And I'm still accomplishing more than everybody else. It's just a low-down heel promo because it taps into a lot of feelings about Randy Orton that he's just been handed everything because Triple H likes him and he's big and tall and he's so pretty, like Daniel Bryan said one time when he cut a promo on him that was excellent. And a lot of people have said these things about Randy Orton throughout his career, that he just doesn't try, he doesn't care, he phones it in, yet he's accomplished more than most superstars in the history of the business. But accomplishments in professional wrestling, we all know, are pretend. Randy hasn't accomplished anything. He's been given championships. And he just admitted on TV that he has been complacent and has phoned it in for the past 20 years. I think Randy, over the past 3 or 4 years, has started to take wrestling more seriously because he realizes how few years he has left. I think he has started to pay more attention and care more about his promos. At least his promos. I don't know about his matches. I don't know if he has the ability anymore. But that promo on Raw was very good. It tapped into some real stuff. He brought it back to Backlash and Edge. I think Edge and Randy have been doing great work as far as the build-up to this match. And that promo from Randy, I got to give the devil his due. You know, this show is fair. This show is honest. It's Wrestling Uncensored because we give you our uncensored, unbiased wrestling opinion. Randy Orton is by far my favorite wrestler. But that promo was great. And I like the Viking Raiders. They're really good. But they're being absolutely wasted in the WWE. And that's just the facts. That's just the way it is.
Well, it does change my focus on who's going to win this Edge or Randy Orton match, because it really seems like Edge has to win this match now, the way they're paying this, where Edge has to prove that he still has what it takes, because apparently if Edge doesn't win this match, then he's pretty much done again. That seems to be what they're painting here, so Edge kind of has to win this match.
I think he does. We'll talk about it next week when we preview Backlash. I want to take a look at some surprising things that happened on Smackdown this week. Drew Gulak beat AJ Styles clean.
Yeah, really shocking. Really throws me off and who's going to win this Intercontinental title tournament in the end, because I thought AJ wouldn't win, but now if he loses right before that happens, that really makes me wonder if I'm going to be right now. But either way, I don't think we lose, because Daniel Bryan or AJ Styles, I think we win either way.
Next Friday on SmackDown, we may see the greatest wrestling match ever. The Intercontinental title finals, Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles. That should be great. And we have new women's tag team champions in the main event of SmackDown this week. Bayley and Sasha Banks beating Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss to become the new women's tag team champions. There was some miscommunication there. Bayley tagged herself in when Sasha had one of them in the bank statement, but they still wound up winning the match. Like, they keep teasing this Bayley and Sasha breaking up thing. They even teased it during the match, but they managed to pull it together and still win and now become two-time women's tag team champions, which I think is really good because now we're going to see Sasha and Bayley on Raw. And that's good for Raw because Sasha and Bayley are top talents, and to have them on that brand will help that brand. Have them on Raw and SmackDown is good. It's good for Raw and SmackDown. I don't know how much Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross were really enhancing Monday Night Raw or SmackDown. Which brand are they on? SmackDown? Raw?
They're on SmackDown, but they were feuding with people on Raw. Like, they were feuding with the Iconics, so I think this might turn into a three-way feud. Because I believe they scored a victory over the Iconics. At least Billie Kay did. She scored a victory over, I believe, Nikki Cross.
Yes.
So I think it's still unfinished there. I could see a three-way tag at the pay-per-view. Hopefully it stays on Banks and Bayley, because I think they could do a lot of great things with this. Bayley being a double champion now, I'd love to see her face Asuka at the next pay-per-view, actually.
It might happen. As far as Bliss and Cross, Nikki Cross having a bad week. They kept calling her the weak link on commentary of the Alexa Bliss-Nikki Cross tag team. Nikki Cross did lose to Billie Kay on Raw, and then also did take the pinfall from Sasha Banks to lose the tag team titles. I wonder if they'll do a Alexa Bliss-Nikki Cross breakup deal because Nikki kept losing. She's the weak link.
Well, it just makes more sense because Bliss, she's more accomplished. She's one of the, in terms of championships, she's one of the greatest champions of all time in Raw and SmackDown. I think she was the first one to win the Raw and SmackDown Women's Championship. So they put her in high regard. And I guess with Cross, it's kind of like she's trying to prove herself kind of thing. As we saw with that passion promo she did against the Iconics. And now I guess they're running with this, which is fine.
We'll see what happens there with the Iconics. Hopefully they don't get lost in the shuffle again. I like the Iconics. I think they're fun. Let's go to AEW here, Johnny. We're running out of time, but I wanted to talk about all the news in AEW this week. Fyter Fest announced for Dynamite on July 1st and 8th. So it'll be 2 episodes of Dynamite. That'll be the Fyter Fest. Jon Moxley will wrestle Brian Cage, defending the AEW World Title against Brian Cage on one of those shows. Not sure which one. And also, Kenny Omega and Hangman Page will be defending the AEW Tag Team titles against the Best Friends at Fyter Fest. That's all we know so far.
I think you just saw like what's going to be main event night 1. I think it's going to be the Tag Team title match, and I think main event night 2 is going to be the AEW World Title match. And I think they said also all the titles will be defended. So Cody's going to defend against somebody, and probably Shida will also be defending the title. I don't know against who, though. That's a good question, because if they haven't really built up anybody, I'm going to guess Nyla Rose, because Fyter Fest comes up pretty quick. July 1st will be here very quickly.
Yeah, that's it, and they haven't really built up anybody else. Nyla Rose, victorious over Big Swole on Dynamite this week. It feels like Nyla Rose is the only other contender right now that Britt Baker is out with an injury. The FTR, the formerly the Revival. Is that what FTR stands for? Formerly the Revival? They say it can mean anything. It's a way of life, they say. For the revolution, follow the rules. Which are kind of against, like, how can it mean for the revolution and follow the rules? I don't think any revolution really follows the rules. I think that's kind of what revolutions do. So when they said that, I was like, huh? That doesn't make sense. Dash, Kip, Cash, Wheeler, whatever your name is. I don't know what their names are. I didn't know what their names were before. Dash, Wild, and Kip Sabian. What was his name?
I know now it's Cash Wheeler and something Hardwood, I think.
Hardwood?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Anyways, they did a little promo there. What did you think about the promo?
I thought it was fine. I think they'd be better with the manager, but that's just personally the way I look at it. It seems like they could be a new kind of Midnight Express kind of thing, but that's the thing that they're going with now. They're just going to be a great tag team. Them against the Butcher and the Blade, that should be fun. But obviously the match people want to see is them against the Bucks. I don't think we're going to get that anytime soon, it seems like, because it seems like they have to build themselves up, which is fine.
We don't see it at Fyter Fest?
No, I think they're going to face some other tag team, I think, in the meantime. I mean, I think they'd save that probably for like a tag team title match, actually. They'd have to win the tag team titles, or the Bucks would have to win the titles before we see them against FTR, I think.
Well, they're there, and they're going to wrestle Butcher and the Blade. FTR versus Butcher and the Blade coming up on Dynamite this Wednesday. Ortiz, Santana, and Jake Hager, representing Inner Circle, will take on the Best Friends and Orange Cassidy on Dynamite. Jon Moxley is going to wrestle on AEW Dark this week, AEW champion. And Sammy Guevara versus Colt Cabana set for Dynamite on Wednesday. Colt Cabana had a fun little match with Chris Jericho. Jericho winning after the Judas effect, hitting the pinfall there. Then he cut a promo on Mike Tyson. And he says he wants to taste the blood of Mike Tyson. Called him out. But then Orange Cassidy showed up instead. And Orange ducked and dodged around the Inner Circle before escaping the ring, setting up the Best Friends Orange Cassidy versus Proud and Powerful and Hager match coming up for Wednesday. Jericho's going to be back on commentary on Dynamite. What'd you think of Jericho Cabana? First time ever.
I thought it was a good match, good back and forth match. I mean, you knew Jericho was going to win the match, but I thought Cole looked pretty good in it. But in the end, it just seemed like they're hyping now, because they don't know if they're going to get Tyson. So I think we're probably going to get Jericho against Orange Cassidy at Fyter Fest.
Jericho, Orange Cassidy, one-on-one at Fyter Fest? Is that really... That's what we're building towards? That's a weird one.
To me, that's what it seems like. I mean, if they're not going to get Tyson right away, I could see that going down.
I don't know about that whole Mike Tyson deal. Okay, Brian Cage beat Sean Dean, a jobber, in a squash match there, and then did a little promo there. Taz cut a promo on Moxley, and then Moxley showed up. cut a promo there. Moxley looks like half a foot taller than Brian Cage. I didn't realize Brian Cage was like under 6 feet tall. He's so huge. He's so jacked. I figured he was like taller, but I guess, standing next to Taz, they're roughly the same height. So Brian Cage is not like a huge guy. I mean, he's really jacked, but he's not that tall. Moxley looked really big next to him. I was surprised. I was like, oh man, Moxley's going to look tiny next to Brian Cage, but he didn't.
Well, in terms of height, though, but in terms of like muscle mass, like he's very small.
Yeah, for sure. Well, compared to Brian Cage, most people are small, right? Brian Cage is a monster as far as being super jacked, but he's a little bit shorter than I thought he was. Anyways, Hangman Page and Kenny Omega beat Jimmy Havoc and Kip Sabian to retain the AEW Tag Team titles in the opener of Dynamite. I thought that was a good match. Was that match of the night for you? Cody Rhodes, though, and Jungle Boy in the main event, that was probably my match of the night there. That was a good one.
Oh, I thought the opener and the main event were both pretty good. I think in the end, like, you can't go wrong with either or. It's just I think you ended more with the Cody match because there's a bit more drama involved with that, with the whole table bump at the end. So that made sense for the ending, I think.
It was good, man. I thought that match was really good. Cody was bleeding. Why was Cody bleeding?
Well, Cody likes just that drama to the matches. You saw Dustin do it as well. I know some people were criticizing like AEW that there's all this bleeding. You shouldn't have bleeding during the pandemic. If they're gonna have wrestling shows, period, you can have bleeding. Like, just don't have wrestling shows if people are upset about pandemics. But they're gonna have wrestling shows, so they can bleed. Everyone's been tested.
That's it. I mean, I don't see a big deal. I was just surprised that he would do that for this match. Didn't seem like you needed it, but it did definitely add to it. I thought the match was good. I thought it was fun. Cody beats Jungle Boy, retains the AEW TNT title in his first title defense. And that was Dynamite this week. Johnny North, just before we go, Jackson Riker won part of the Forgotten Sons, a gimmick on SmackDown, a tag team gimmick that you may never see again because he got himself into some trouble this week. And I'll show you the tweet here so you can see what I'm talking about. There's Kevin Owens' response. But here's Jackson Riker on the 1st of June. He says, thankful for the POTUS, which is the the commander-in-chief, the president of the United States. We have. God bless America, built of freedom, forgotten no more. So he was tweeting that about, Donald Trump. God bless America. Thankful for the president that they have. He was very happy with Donald Trump, whether you're pro-Trump or not, whatever. And then there's Kevin Owens' response. The freedom you speak of entitles you to speak your mind all you want. I'm not here to argue that. I just really need to tell you that I think you pushing your expletive, crappy wrestling catchphrase as all of this is happening is absolutely effing pathetic. Good night. And apparently, Jackson Riker took a lot of heat, not just from Kevin Owens, but from a lot of different wrestlers on and off the WWE roster. And he may have some problems going forward when he shows up to work. And there's talk that the Forgotten Sons gimmick altogether is just going to be dropped. Certainly in these times, very controversial. He supported the president at a time where the president seemed to call the army on his own people, which seemed a little wild for some. Right? Didn't he call in the army to kind of use force if necessary on people? Wasn't that a thing he said? I honestly, to be fully honest, and this is maybe wrong, but I try not to pay attention to what that guy says or what's happening in the world too much these days because it's depressing and it's just so much you can get lost in it. And the facts are so skewed from everybody. Everybody just gives you their side of an argument. It's hard to tell what a fact is. Everything's just so jumbled up that I try not to pay close attention to what is happening, the details. Like, I generally know that there's unrest and there's a coronavirus and things like that, but I don't want to know too much because it's just a bummer. And, I know what I need to know. And the rest I just, would rather not know about. I'd rather just pay attention to wrestling. Like, if I'm going to get mad about something, I'd rather get mad about the Viking Raiders and the Street Profits than something real. Because the something real, you get mad, but it's also, kind of depressing. Like, when you really start to think about what's going on, when I do start reading into what's happening, when I start seeing some of those videos that people are posting with the violence, it's sad, and I'd rather not watch that. I don't want to see somebody murdered by a policeman on video. Like, it's not a pleasant video to watch, so I choose not to. I know that it happened, but I don't want to see it, I know that there's, you see an old man get pushed over by police, cracks his head open. I saw it. I didn't want to see it, just to kind of scroll through my feed. But these are not the things that I want to see. These are not the things I'm trying to get involved in, Johnny North. And Jackson Riker got involved, and a lot of people are very, very touchy these days about these things. And Jackson Riker from the Forgotten Sons, well, might be a forgotten gimmick, because really, who needs him? It's not like I cared to watch him in the first place. And now with all this controversy, if his coworkers deem him someone that they don't want around, well, fine. Get rid of him. I don't care. I won't miss him. The gimmick was weird anyways. It seems a little, I don't know, borderline.
Well, most people didn't even know who he was or knew that they were on SmackDown to begin with until that tweet. So that tweet actually made him more popular than anything they've done in the past. So was it really that bad of a thing? Plus, doesn't the boss of WWE, doesn't he support Trump as well? So it's kind of ridiculous if Vince is allowed to support him, but others can't support him as well. It's a very weird situation.
It is super weird, and I don't know. I'm torn on it. On the one hand, I don't think that we should be canceling athletes, people, whatever, based on their political affiliations. But on the other hand, if your political affiliations are so egregious that they cannot be tolerated, well, then maybe you should be canceled. It's difficult. It's a difficult, it's a tough line. And I'm not sure that what Jackson Riker believes is so awful that he should be canceled by the WWE. But I'm also not sure that it isn't, I don't know, man. And that's because I'm not trying to dig too deep into what Donald Trump is really doing and really about. I know peripherally what's happening, and it seems. Anyways, that's the show, Wrestling Uncensored. I don't want to talk about this, John, and we're overtime. Follow Johnny North on Twitter at North Genesis, on Instagram at Genesis Johnny North. Follow me on all the things at Dave Simon MMA. Don't forget, ringsidereport.net. You want to watch the UFC 250 watch-along? I'm sure we'll talk about all sorts of things. Fred has got all sorts of conspiracy theories. AJ's got wild views. Watch the UFC 250 watch-along. It's going to go bananas. Definitely check it out on the YouTube channel at ringsidereport.net. Do you have any final words on it, Johnny North, before I wrap this sucker up?
On the whole Riker situation you're talking about?
Yeah, sure, if you want to.
If they come back, I think they might just keep him off TV for a little bit and then he'll come back. But, it doesn't make that big of a difference. He wasn't even wrestling on SmackDown anyways. He was always in their corner. So if he comes back or not, it doesn't really make a difference. However, because he made a bit of a buzz, I think you actually do put him on TV because people would be interested to see what he's going to do now.
Heat, right? Real heat.
Of course. Damn it. People don't like him. It's great. Not everyone has to be your friend.
That feud with the New Day would take on a whole new meaning now, right? By God. Yeesh.
Oh, with anybody, really.
Yeah, but the New Day especially. Tully Blanchard gave Sean Spears a black glove this week in a case. What does that mean? What is the significance of the single black glove in pro wrestling? Seth Rollins has a single black glove now, and Sean Spears was given one by Tully Blanchard on Dynamite. Why?
until they do something with it, I'm not impressed. Because, like, yeah, we've seen a black glove many times in wrestling. Sometimes it works out for people that gives them somewhat of an advantage, but not for everybody. It's been
How?
For some people, it's actually worked out very well, actually. I remember the Blackjacks always had the glove.
What does it do? Is it loaded? Is there something in the glove?
Yeah, sometimes that's it, yeah.
If it's just a glove with nothing in it, no roll of quarters, nothing, then it shouldn't give you powers. Why was that a thing? The black glove continues to baffle me. Some of the stupid things that we agree is, are fine in wrestling. That's not one I'm willing to accept. Suspension of disbelief is one thing. Believing a black gloves gives your hand magical powers is another. I'm not buying that. No thank you. RingsideReport.net for more. Follow Johnny on his things. Follow me on all the things. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you to everybody hitting the Super Chat and supporting the Ringside Report Network. Thank you for supporting our sponsors. Thank you to everybody helping us out on the radio side as well. Thank you to Johnny North for being an awesome guy and being the manscaping legend that he is. All the way to the skin, baby. Johnny North, my man. RingsideReport.net for Big Johnny North. I am Dave Simon, and this has been Wrestling Uncensored. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Woo!